Bill Bray employs a new bodyguard named Wayne Nagin, who will continue to work for Michael for the next 2 decades. John Branca becomes Michael's attorney. Branca's first course of action: renegotiate Michael's CBS contract with the company's president, Walter Yetnikoff. Winners LP, a compilation album with various artists, includes a special disco version of Shake Your Body Down to the Ground, is released by I&M Teleproducts. Hitline LP and Wings of Sound LP, 2 compilation albums both featuring Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, are released by K-Tel International. Rock With You is also included on Hitline. January. Back in November 1979, Michael and most of the Jackson family sat down for an interview on ABC's 2020 with Sylvia Chase that is aired during this month. The segment features live songs from their Destiny tour filmed at the Nassau Coliseum in New York on November 8 of '79. Michael responds to statements that he has not had to deal with the real world, explaining that it is difficult for him because people see him differently and don't treat him like they would a neighbor.
Never had to deal with the real world.
Yeah, that's true in one way. That's true in one way. But it's hard to in my position. I try to sometimes, and but people won't deal with me in that way because they see me differently. They won't talk to me like they will the next door neighbor.
At your concerts, there are hundreds of people in the audience yelling, "Michael, Michael!" What do you feel like?
When they're all holding hands and everybody's rocking and all colors of people are there, all races, and it's the most wonderful thing, and politicians can't even do that.
By this time, interviews become increasingly rare from Michael Jackson. January 11th to 13th. The Jacksons performed the final 3 concerts of the Destiny World Tour at the Neil S. Blaisdell Arena in Honolulu. While in Hawaii, Michael Jackson visited Paradise Park in Honolulu, where he met an employee named Peter Hernandez. This brief encounter was captured in a photograph, which would have likely remained insignificant in the park's archives if Peter Hernandez were not the future father of the renowned Bruno Mars. January 18th. Dressed in his signature tuxedo paired with a silver sequin shirt, Michael attends the American Music Awards in Los Angeles, where he is honored with 3 awards for his album, Off the Wall. He receives the Favorite Soul Album Award from Chuck Berry and Leif Garrett for Off the Wall. The Favorite Soul Single Award for Don't Stop Till You Get Enough is presented to him by Andy Gibb and Dionne Warwick, while he accepts the Favorite Soul Male Award from Dave Mason and Bonnie Pointer. Additionally, Michael, alongside Nicolette Larson, presents the Favorite Pop Album Award to the Bee Gees for Spirits Having Flown, which is graciously received by Andy Gibb. January 19th. Rock With You hits #1 on both the pop and R&B charts, holding its position for 4 and 5 weeks, respectively, and remained on the charts for 24 weeks. January 27th. Michael attends the NAACP Awards, where the Jacksons receive the Image Award for Best Singing Group of the Year. January 29th. Michael delivers a captivating performance of Rock With You at a UNICEF benefit concert titled Because We Care, hosted by Julie Andrews to support Cambodian relief. This event takes place at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in the Music Center, Los Angeles. Following the concert, he joins John Travolta at an after-party. The show is broadcast on CBS on February 5, 1980. January 31st. Epic releases the single Off the Wall in the United States. This marks Michael's 3rd top 10 single from the album Off the Wall, It reached number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, number 5 on the Billboard Soul Singles chart, and made the top 10 in 4 additional countries. Interestingly, this song was initially offered to Karen Carpenter while she was working on her debut solo album, but she declined it. Late January, early February, at Disneyland, Michael records a medley featuring When You Wish Upon a Star, Follow the Yellow Brick Road, and Ease on Down the Road for a CBS TV special commemorating the 25th anniversary of the Magic Kingdom. This special is scheduled to be broadcast on March 6, 1980. February. Michael is on the covers of Sepia magazines and Cashbox magazine, naming Off the Wall the most popular soul album of the year. February 2nd. The video for She's Out of My Life has been released. This poignant ballad moves Michael to tears by its conclusion. Director Bruce Gowers was once again brought on board following the success of Michael's earlier video, Rock With You. You can easily spot the similarities between the two videos. February 4th. Randy Jackson sustained severe injuries in a car accident in Hollywood, California. Catherine, Michael, Janet, and Latoya come to visit him at the hospital. He nearly loses a leg, but after 6 months and 7 surgeries, he ultimately succeeds in walking again. February 9th. Rock With You, Get on the Floor by Michael enters the top 75 singles chart in Britain, peaking at number 7 and remaining on the charts for 9 weeks. February 14th. Rock With You is certified gold. February 16th. Off the Wall, Get on the Floor by Michael Jackson, released this month on Epic, enters the pop singles chart peaking at number 10 and remains on the charts for 17 weeks. February 23rd. Off the Wall enters the black singles chart peaking at number 5 and remains on the charts for 13 weeks. February 27th. Michael decides to boycott the 22nd annual Grammy Awards in frustration over being confined to R&B soul categories. He feels let down that Off the Wall did not receive nominations for Best Disco Recording or any pop categories, nor for Song or Album of the Year. Instead, he watches the ceremony from home alongside Catherine, Janet, and Latoya. However, he does earn his first Grammy as a solo artist, winning Best R&B Vocal Performance Male for Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Another disrespectful aspect is that the Grammys chose not to air Michael's win during the live broadcast. Instead, when he was declared the winner of the award, it was during the pre-broadcast segment of the Grammys, before the live event is aired on television. It's at this moment when Michael promises that his next album will not go overlooked. March. Michael is on the covers of Blues and Soul, Juke, and Rock and Soul. 2020. 20 number 1 hits from 20 years at Motown, including 3 Jackson 5 songs, and Ben by Michael is released by Motown Records. March 1st. Michael graces the cover of Melody Maker, featuring an exclusive interview titled Michael in Wonderland. Conducted by reporter Steve DeMorest at Havenhurst in February, the interview involves 13-year-old Janet, who relays the reporter's questions to Michael. The single Ben by Michael Jackson and Abraham Martin and John by Marvin Gaye on the B-side is re-released in Britain by Motown. March 6th. CBS broadcasts Kraft salutes Disneyland's 25th anniversary, featuring Danny Kaye alongside guest stars Michael Jackson, the Osmonds, and Adam Rich. The special, filled with vibrant performances and nostalgic moments, celebrates the magic and wonder of Disneyland, a place cherished by children and adults alike. Michael Jackson dazzles the audience with his charismatic presence and performs a medley that enchants viewers, showcasing his musical versatility. The show captures the essence of Disneyland's enduring appeal and its ability to bring joy and excitement to generations, marking a memorable milestone in the park's history. March 23rd, Molly Meldrum conducts a telephone interview with Michael during his Australian television show, Countdown. In the conversation, Michael discusses the success of his album, Off the Wall, and also brings up the album Destiny with the Jacksons. April, Michael is on the cover of Black Stars magazine. April 18th, Epic has released the single She's Out of My Life, Get on the Floor, which debuts at number 10 on the pop singles chart and stays on the charts for 16 weeks. This marks Michael's second single of the year and the fourth top 10 hit from a single album. Quincy Jones initially planned to reserve the song for Frank Sinatra, but ultimately decided to give it to Michael for his album. The country duo Jonny Duncan and Janie Fricke also recorded a cover of the song, renaming it to He's Out of My Life. The single was released in August of this year and reached a peak position of number 17 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart. Michael becomes the first solo artist in America to chart in 4 top 10 singles from the same album, equaling a feat only previously accomplished by the group Fleetwood Mac for their Rumors LP and the soundtracks Saturday Night Fever and Grease. May, Michael is on the covers of Blues and Soul and Nightbeat magazine. Dave Mason's album, Old Crest on a New Wave, includes the song Save Me, featuring Michael on backing vocals, is released by Columbia Records. How the collaboration came about. One evening, Dave was in Los Angeles recording his album at Hollywood Sound Studios. He decided to visit Michael, who was working on the Triumph album with the brothers in the adjacent studio alongside Quincy Jones. Dave approached Michael, introduced himself, and requested him to sing some of the high parts on one of his tracks. According to Dave, Michael replied, "You know, when I was 12 years old, I performed a TV special with Diana Ross. At the end of the show, Diana and the Jackson 5 sang your song, Feelin' Alright. So yes, absolutely. I would love to come and sing." Dave Mason noted that Michael ended up contributing far more to Save Me than he had initially anticipated. She's Out of My Life enters the Black Singles chart, peaking at number 43, and remains on the charts for 8 weeks. She's Out of My Life, Push Me Away enters the top 75 singles chart in Britain, peaking at number 3, and remains on the charts for 9 weeks. Michael Jackson's Off the Wall album reports sales of over 5 million in America alone, and is certified triple platinum in Britain, 7 times platinum in Australia, triple platinum in Canada, and gold in Holland. July, Paul Anka extends an invitation to Michael to be a guest at his home in Carmel by the Sea, located in Monterey County, California. During their 2-week stay together, they collaborate on several songs, including Love Never Felt So Good, I Never Heard, and It Don't Matter to Me. July 16th, Michael Jackson becomes the first artist in Britain to release 5 singles from one album when Girlfriend Bless His Soul is released. This 5th and final single was exclusively only released in the UK. The track, Girlfriend, was initially performed by the English rock band Wings on their 1978 album, London Town. Written and produced by their frontman Paul McCartney, the song was originally intended for Michael Jackson to sing. Michael later covered it the following year in 1979 for his Off the Wall LP, which was, of course, produced by Quincy Jones. The single peaked at number 41 on the top 75 chart and remained on the charts for 5 weeks. July 29th, Latoya, Michael, Rebe, Randy, and Jonathan Moffett smile for photos alongside the cast of Blackness, a musical review at the Circle Theater in Hollywood. July 31st, Michael is on the cover of Jet magazine with Latoya. August, Nighttime Lover, performed by Latoya Jackson, was released under the Polydor label. Michael Jackson co-wrote, produced, and provided background vocals for the track. This song serves as the second single from her debut album, titled Latoya Jackson. Initially, it was written for Donna Summer, but it was titled Fire is the Feeling. August 11th, The Love Lives Forever LP by Minnie Riperton, featuring the duet I'm in Love Again with Michael Jackson, has been released. Minnie originally recorded this song back in 1978, a year prior to her passing. In 1980, the track was reintroduced, now enhanced with additional vocals from Michael Jackson. September. Michael spends a few weeks in New Hampshire on the set of the film On Golden Pond, where he visits his friend Jane Fonda. During his time there, he develops friendships with other stars of the movie, including Henry Fonda and Katharine Hepburn. This experience further enriches Michael's passion for cinema and fuels his ambition to work more in the film industry. In Ashland, New Hampshire, entertainers Art Harriman and Keith Brush of the Smith Bros and Al Gould were playing good time music for the Day in the Park celebration. To everyone's surprise, in came Jane Fonda on her day off from filming on Golden Pond. The audience exploded when everyone soon realized it was Michael Jackson that walked in with her. And when the band played Rockin' Robin, Michael snapped pictures with his camera and gave a thumbs up of approval. Latoya Jackson LP, which includes the song Nighttime Lover, co-written, arranged, and produced by Michael Jackson, is released on Polydor. Motown re-releases 4 Jackson 5 singles in Britain with new B-sides. Got to Be There with I Miss You Baby, I Want You Back with The Love You Save, I'll Be There with ABC, and Looking Through the Window with Dr. My Eyes. September 3rd. In acknowledgement of their musical contributions, the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce awards the Jacksons a star on the Walk of Fame along Hollywood Boulevard. Michael, Jackie, Tito, Marlon, and Randy join their parents Joe and Catherine, along with Rebe, Latoya, Janet, and Joe's mother, Crystal Jackson, for the ceremony. Additionally, Michael receives a special plaque honoring his 4 top 10 singles from the album Off the Wall. Following the event, the Jackson family enjoys dinner at Chasen's Restaurant in West Hollywood. September 9th. The Jackson 5 Superstar Series Volume 12 LP is released by Motown Records. September 17th. Lovely One, Bless His Soul by the Jacksons, released by Epic Records, enters the pop and black single charts, peaking at number 12 and 2 respectively, and remains on the pop charts for 18 weeks. It's their 7th single for the label and the first for the upcoming album, Triumph. September 26th. Triumph LP, the 14th studio album by the Jacksons as a group, is released by Epic Records. October. Michael is featured in Gentleman's Quarterly magazine, accompanied by a brief interview. Hotter Than July, the LP by Stevie Wonder, includes the song All I Do and was released under Motown Tamla Records. This nostalgic gem, co-written by Stevie, had been kept in the Motown vaults since 1966. The track also features backing vocals from renowned artists like Michael Jackson, Jamil Rahim, Betty Wright, Eddie Levert, and Walter Williams of the OJs. Love Lives Forever LP by Minnie Riperton featuring I'm in Love Again, with vocals by Michael, is released in Britain. Motown Records release Michael and the Jackson 5 as A and double A sides, with the singles Got to Be There and Marv Johnson's How I Miss You on the other side. 3 Jackson 5 AA classics are issued by Motown: I Want You Back, The Love You Save, I'll Be There, ABC, and Looking Through the Window, Dr. My Eyes on the other side. October 4th. Another One Bites the Dust by Queen reaches the top spot on Billboard's Hot 100, a single Michael recommended during a conversation with Freddie Mercury backstage after a Queen concert in Los Angeles. October 11th. Triumph LP enters the top 60 albums chart in Britain, peaking at number 13, and remains on the charts for 16 weeks. October 18th. The Jacksons' Triumph LP, which they released a month ago with full creative control, has made a remarkable entry into the Black and Pop albums charts, reaching peak positions of number 1 and number 10 respectively. It has stayed on the charts for an impressive 29 weeks. October 25th, Lovely One and Things I Do For You enters the top 75 singles chart in Britain, peaking at number 29 and remains on the charts for 6 weeks. November, Michael is on the covers of Cashbox and Scholastic's Bananas magazines. Hotter Than July LP by Stevie Wonder, featuring All I Do, with backing vocals by Michael Jackson, is released in Britain. November 12th, Michael is at Madison Square Garden in New York City for Stevie Wonder's Hotter Than July tour. At the concert's conclusion, Stevie invites him on stage, where he performs Master Blaster alongside Stevie and Gil Scott-Heron. December, Latoya Jackson's self-named album is released in Britain, featuring Nighttime Lover by Brother Michael. Billboard magazine recognizes Michael Jackson, his iconic album Off the Wall, and its 6 singles on their year-end charts. Michael secures the prestigious title of number 1 Top Black Artist of the Year, while Off the Wall is honored as the number 1 Black Album of the Year. Additional rankings include number 2 Top Pop Male Artist of the Year, Off the Wall, number 2 Top Black Single of the Year, Rock With You, and number 4 Top Pop Single of the Year, Rock With You. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Shake Your Body Down to the Ground is released on Epic's Memory Lane label. December 6th, Heartbreak Hotel and Things I Do For You by the Jacksons, their 8th single released this month for Epic, enters both the pop and black singles charts, peaking at number 22 and number 2 respectively, and remains on the charts for 16 and 17 weeks, respectively. The single opens with a chilling scream from Latoya. Due to the mix-up with Elvis Presley's song of the same title, the Jacksons' track was renamed This Place Hotel in 1984. December 7th, Epic releases Heartbreak Hotel, the Jacksons' 2nd single from the Triumph album. It will peak at number 22 on Hot 100 Billboard. December 10th, Triumph LP is certified gold and platinum. December 13th, Heartbreak Hotel and Different Kind of Lady enters the top 75 singles chart in Britain, peaking at number 44, and remains on the charts for 6 weeks.
Do you ever want to stop?
No, don't stop till you get enough.
You haven't had enough.
No way. No way.